nice because you're not giving them the opportunity to just counterpick yet. You could try to get something that can bully out the Raid King. You've got the options for Tide Hunter here. You've got the options for Centaur as well. It hasn't been banned out, although we haven't seen as much of that hero. You can kind of open up your draft a bit more. Going for Natsumi's hero could be a bit rough because you've already got your 2 supports locked in, so you kind of need to compensate. They go with the Centaur. Very safe pickup. Stampede holds its own against the Wraith King quite nicely. You've got combinations with the Nyx, double stuns in play, or if you go with the AA4, you can kind of play with a Cold Feet plus stun combination and amp up some of that damage with the Ice Vortex as well. So a lot going on here for Neon. Still very open. Still not sure if it's CTM on that, but I'd guess that's Raging Potato's hero now. So he will be on the offlane role. It's been a while since we've watched Raging Potato as well. A very long time since we've seen him in Lilgun go into the LC themselves. So LC plus Raid King back. Double duel potentially coming through. Another really good Inkswell target, of course. Grimstrike to play with. And they could play with Toss on the LC to get that initiation going for themselves. So covering their bases here for Lilgun makes you wonder about that Tiny. Like with this LC pickup, kind of makes you think that the Tiny's a support so that they can pocket their mid pickup last, but that flexibility still sort of stands for Lilgun.
Yeah. OB.Neon, 45 seconds reserve time left. 4th pickup. What do you want? You might just leave that your Pashira to the last pick. Maybe just choose Natsumi's here. Again, you already know the off lane, you already know the safe lane, so I don't think there's any issue here with OB.Neon going for the safe lane pickup. So you kind of already know what you're dealing with, and they do go for a nice pick in the Ursa, which is going to make it pretty hard for this LC to lane. And of course, the Wraith King doesn't necessarily enjoy the Ursa very much either. I gotta say, so far, I do like where OB.Neon's gone with this draft. I don't see anything that's actually going to be able to deal with this Ursa this game whatsoever. Feels like that enrage of the Ursa is going to just have so much value. And then, of course, past the 20-minute mark, you get the shards up, and suddenly you just have this constant enrage going on. And like I said, I don't see what Lilgun are going to be able to do about it.
Yep, they don't have the best supports to deal with the Ursa, especially once level 6 is up, so you're going to have to play real quick. And they go with the Invoker to close out with for OB.Neon. So Yopaj Invoker, it's been a while since we've seen him pull that out.
I can't remember watching Yopaj Invoker. How long has it been?
I'd say a year. I'd say maybe Pro Series 2, Pro Series 1. It's been a while. It's not something they dip into. Usually, I think they've done it a couple of times with Scam Void on safe lane. So, it's that natural combo with Chrono, but it's been a long time since they've done that. So, we'll see what Yopaj pulls out. You don't have the most straightforward combos for the Invoker in this case. So, Cataclysm, you don't have the best setup. You do have pretty good pick-off potential across the map with your AA and Nyx. So, now you can play with Vendetta, Ice Blast, and Sunstrike and find kills that way. That could ramp up Yopaj quite nicely if they find the opportunity to. And the big one is pretty much alacritying the Ursa. So you've got a big hitter, just pump him up with more damage. Makes it really hard for Lilgun. Lilgun will close out with a Riki though. Riki versus an Invoker lane down mid. That sounds very good for Sanctity. We've seen that be really tough for most Invokers. So we'll see if Sanctity can apply that pressure onto Yopaj here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting here for Lilgun. I do admit the last pick Riki does seem quite nice going into the draft of OB.Neon. Even up against the Ursa, right? Because you have so many ways of kind of just juking and jiving in the middle of a team fight. There's not really much in the way of lockdown unless you can land the stun here from CTM on the Nyx Assassin. Maybe into the Centaur Warner Hoofstomp. I got a bit thrown off there because Raging Potato's name in-game is Ping Pong, apparently. So I was a bit thrown off by that name, but there you go. OB.Neon vs Lilgun. Game number 1, John, I'll ask you the hardest question of all as we go into game number 1. Who came out with the better draft in your opinion?
That one's a bit hard to call. Their team fight is both sides have really awkward team fight. Don't have the hardest lockdown each. I think I'm going to give the edge towards OB.Neon. Like you talked about the ways the Riki can handle, say, the Ursa and Invoker. The smoke screen's especially annoying, but I think the key thing for Neon is as long as it's not the Centaur being jumped, and it's likely not the Centaur, if he can get the Stampede off, pull his heroes out, or at least give them the opportunity to run, Smokescreen's not going to feel too bad. Like the control on Lilgun, maybe the Soulbind makes it hard to split up, but as long as you coordinate and move as a team, it shouldn't be too tough. For Lilgun's part, they've got 3 melee heroes, which means that you're not really going to be able to kite the Ursa from those cores. It's down to really ace, make it hellish for Natsumi and running around there. And once you have the BKB on Natsumi, it's going to feel a lot smoother on the Ursa if he opts for it. We don't really tend to see Ursa BKBs too often because of his Enrage and Ag Shard. A lot of people bypass it. So we'll have to see. I'm going to lean towards Neon just a bit more because of the Centaur for the most part. But I don't think it's that much of a draft advantage for Neon here.
Okay. I was kind of leaning the same way, but I do agree that it really could go either way this game. And let's see how it does pan out. I don't think you can really underestimate Lilgun going into this matchup, but neither can you do so for the side of OB.Neon. Let's see how it all does pan out, as we should have a quick gander at the betting odds for Game 1. See what's going on here with LootBet. And it looks like the odds are heavily favoring OB.Neon for now. So definitely a good sign for them. Looks like the viewers do believe in OB.Neon here in this Game 1. Let's see if it does work out for him.
Yep, I think it's fair. Like, OB.Neon's won past 2 series they've played up against Lilgun. They played once in the group stage of BTS Pro Series, LootBet Pro Series 6. That ended up 2-0. The DPC, it was 2-0 as well. So, on paper, OB.Neon knows what to do against Lilgun. They take care of all those cheese picks. They even banned out the Eagle last. And this means that Lilgun has to play more standard draft. Now, the Riki mid is, you know, it's not exactly out of meta, but it's not very common. So, it's still sort of left field for the side of Lilgun, but it's not one of those pocket picks that can really throw you off in the draft. And I think that's where Lilgun really shines, but they can still pull this off. And this is the team that upset TNC somehow. So we'll see if that's the Lilgun we get today.
Yeah, find out. There's definitely a lot of talent on the side of Lilgun, but it's kind of like In Your Dream said earlier on in that interview. There's a lot of cheesing going on with this team. You know, there's nothing wrong with a bit of cheese, John. As an Australian, that's generally how our teams do it. We just kind of cheese every game whenever we are relevant, which has been quite a while, mind you. Maybe 10 years ago. Hishki.
Oh, look at Hishki. Aw, nothing cheeky.
He might still try, you never know. They could cut him off. Ace 12's around as well, so they might go for the... No, they don't even have the Ink Swell. I suppose you could still attempt the first blood here, but it's going to be a little bit tough still. They'll toss back Januel into the loving arms of Ace. There's your Stroke of Fade out. Maybe they do have enough. The right clicks of Hishji are going to hurt quite a bit, but Januel, he does get into the back line of that tree. He'll be alright. He'll survive. He's going to be quite low in terms of HP, though, and doesn't really have the most amount of regen on him right now. In fact, Hishki, he's going to stick around. He'll go for the creep wave pull away. As we do have your Page disconnecting on the Invoker.
Yep, just internet issues abound. I don't know, it's been a weird day for internet, for me in particular, so I can kind of get why there's some issues, especially with Playhard being from the same city. If he's actually here, I don't even know if you can travel. Still, lane matchup so far, I mean, it's a lot of space for Natsumi, right? The one-on-one for LC versus Ursa is not fun for the LC. You can play around with the overwhelming odds. Natsumi actually starts with the Fury swipes. So if Marvel comes too close for the last hits, you get a couple of swipes up, you're not going to win the trades. And as the levels go up here for Natsumi, once he gets a value point on the Earth Shock for the slow, along with the Empower coming through, once he hits around level 4 or so, it can be a bit scary. So Marvel needs this Tiny to just get the EXP this way, try to stabilize the lane, hit that level 2, level 3 spike for the Tiny. That's when it becomes a little bit more manageable, but you're really going to have to try and dig deep to reach for Januel or Natsumi. Like, I don't even think you want to commit fully for Natsumi. You might just want to go for Januel every single time and kind of punish him for not having too much regen here.
Yeah. Of course, over in the mid lane, you've also got your Page there up against Sanctity, and we did kind of go over this in the draft, but you'd imagine Sanctity might have a small advantage going into the Invoker. Obviously, you're a melee core on the Riki. Base damage not too bad either, and you can dodge a lot of the spells with the tricks of the trade here. So your Page might have quite a bit of difficulty trying to land those spells. So you can essentially just kind of purge them off with tricks of the trade. We'll get the tornado, but that was really only to secure the creep. Sanctity should be just fine in this lane.
Yep, it's not going to be too tough. We've seen rookies take control of this lane as soon as they hit their level 3, level 4 spikes. It's a lot more passive for the Invoker unless a support rotation comes in, which we don't tend to see too often nowadays. Maybe by the 6-minute mark, that's when you can expect some relief. Of course, the one thing with Riki in this lane is that it's not a natural bottle carrier. So you're not going to get full value from that. Upaj is going to have some more to play with, although looks like he's not going to opt for it either. Should still hold steady, and right now it's going fairly evenly. One last hit ahead for Sanctity, but we can check back in down line. Up top, you've got Raging Potato on the Centaur and CTM on the Nyx. They're laning up against Ace and the X123 on the Raid King and Grimstroke, and this is a bit easier to manage for Lilgun. Dual melee lane up against a Grimstroke means that it's hard for them to fully commit, but once they do, they've got chain stuns themselves. The issue is, you run up to the Raid King, he's always got the save in the form of the Inkswell from Ace, so you can't really look for the kill off that you'd want. It's probably just going to boil down to a bit of a farming lane, and in that sense, Raging's having a better time. 12-1, not too far behind for X123, but the lane is starting to shove a bit into the way of Neon here.
Absolutely. Everything going pretty smoothly so far for OB.Neon, I'd say. Lilgun gonna have to try and find their footing in this game. And 1-2-3, he's having a decent enough time though on that Raid King. Be alright, just a very slow start between these two teams. You've got to try and just secure that CS and farm. I'm kind of wondering what Lilgun's going to do about Natsumi here at this bot lane, right? Like, you've got this Ursa, you can't really harass him out. Every time Marvel's going to try and get close, he's just going to cop those Fury swipes. Well, here's the kind of the answer is Hishki. He's going to have to keep going for these pulls in the large camp, and I'm surprised he actually was able to get that off as it looks like Januel went for a bit of a pull of his own. Now a bit of a fight breaking out as Natsumi will turn around now, back on a Marvel. This is going to be a lot of damage, but the avalanche from Hishki, they make sure they can't really keep the chase up too far, but they're going to keep going. Marvel, one more hit might do it, and they're diving. But no, he blocks the way with the tree. He'll be alright.
I don't know if this is better or worse for Marvel. He's going to have to invest in the stealth. Flying out, that's going to delay the phase boots, which is a lot of right-click damage and mobility for the LT kind of taken off. Hishki, with his low-impact Tiny, just by nature of the lane, means that he's not getting as much EXP as he'd like as well, and just having to bleed that space over to his LC. Does manage to snag the water rune at the least. Sanctity did take the top one, so kind of taking away some resources from Upaj, but with Wex and Quasap, you really don't care too much about that.
Now bot lane, the first blood does occur. Marvel does end up going down, and this is probably going to happen a lot, right? Hishki, if he leaves the lane for a second, they're going to go for the dive immediately. Because with the AA there, with the follow-up slows for Natsumi, he's going to have a very easy time just chasing down the LC and keeping up the damage.
Yeah, it's just really hard to kind of counteract it. You're also seeing aggression top.
Oh, nice
play the combo, but
that's a very nice impale in from CTM to set up, and double edge not going to quite be enough. X123 surviving on 11 HP. He'll be alright though, as Natsumi now is the one in trouble down at the bot lane, but they are not going to be able to finish him off. Of course, Januel, being a good pos 5, does bring over herself to Natsumi. Hell, even gives him the tango just in case.
Keeping Natsumi safe. This is giving Marvel a little bit more to play with, but
yeah, he's overextended. He's going to press the attack to try and run, and that might be enough. And Natsumi looks like he wants to keep going with these phase boots, and they do have the Ice Vortex again. They do also have the slam up. Marvel going to try and run, but here goes the dive. And this time around, Marvel did not have a tree to place. That'll be the second kill of the game already for Natsumi. Is top lane, Upaj. Makes the rotation up, does get X123. Now they'll go for the dive onto Ace 12. He'll try with the Inkswell. It's not going to connect on Raging Potato. And Upaj, he's going to come back in now. Trying to snipe out this Grimstroke as Sanctity also will rotate, but the Ghost Walk is there, but no. They had a sentry placed just in case. A very nice kill there onto Yopaj. That mid invoker. It's going to feel great for Sanctity.
That's a big one to take. They needed some activity on the map. Rotation pays off for Sanctity, and that's going to help him accelerate to the... Ooh.
Raging. Also getting caught out. Hishki setting up there with the avalanche toss. Sanctity, he'll take another kill for himself as Januel. But at least he's still supporting Yopaj. That's good to see.
Yeah, I love that for Januel specifically. He's using his face as his emote every single time. You know it's him. Yeah, Januel.
Nice Tornado EMP. Sanctity just going to try and back off as they'll go on to Hishki instead. With the cold snap out, do they have the damage? It doesn't quite look like it. He'll be able to back off, but he'll have to run all the way back to the fountain to get a reset. Well, not too bad to just get that Tiny off the map for a bit. I suppose for OB.Neon, as long as Natsumi's freely farming like this, regardless of whatever else happens to the map, you're still going to be pretty happy.
Yep, for sure. It's really interesting. Natsumi's also going for the Diffusal build Ursa. So again, just looking for that initial aggression, initial control, burn through, say, the Raid King's mana early on, and before 20 minutes, it's going to feel terrible for X123. Not having that second life takes away a lot of his early presence, and will allow OB.Neon to have Natsumi join in earlier. Of course, they are trying to get space out. They're building up Sanctity's Diffusal wells, and Januel...
Yeah, he's in trouble. Stroke of Fate does connect. Yopaj's going to try and tank through some of the tricks of the trade, but he thinks better of it in the end. Just walks out of there and lets Januel die by himself. This mid-Ricky, again, it's going to prove to be a bit of an issue here from Sanctity. It seems like he's had a very good start. See if he can transition that into the mid-game and be a real powerhouse. But pretty standard. He's going for the Diffusal Blade. He's going to want to fight with his team. I think it will be very effective. It's now Raging. A nice impaling from CTM. Once again onto two heroes. The EMP will drain the mana, and the Stampede will allow them to keep the chase, but Marvel is right behind to get the duel off onto Raging Potato. They do not have the damage to win out the duel, but it won't matter. They'll save the Tiny, they'll get the Centaur kill. Definitely ends up being a better trade for the side of Lilgun.
It feels good for them to find a kill. They don't find the dual win because X123 didn't go for a value point in Mortal Strike. He opted for a Raid Fire Blast at level 2, going for a 2-3-0 build, and... Oh.
CTM now going to be in a bit of danger, but Tornado is going to land on 2. Yopaj, he'll get the bounty. He'll drain the mana of Hishki. The cold snap is already worn off, so Sanctity is going to come in and try and help out this Tiny. Yopaj still trying to fight. We'll go after the Ricky now. Natsumi. He makes a rotation in, which is very unexpected from the Ursa. But obviously, it's quite a valuable rotation made by this Natsumi Ursa.
Yeah, Yopaj, he's still looking to go. Just forms up. No sentries down here. Marvel.
See if they can pick off this LC. No Stampede up to break the gap. They have the cold snap to set up. Marvel will purge it off, though. Marvel already having quite a difficult game at the start of this game. They just kind of won't leave him alone. And now Lilgun, they're going to try and pressure the mid lane to try and force them back. Yopaj will indeed come back. Gets a nice little tornado off onto Sanctity. Is now an impel there, CTM. The good old drive-by. He steals the double damage through now with the Spike Carapace. He's going to try and run. He might just make it out. The Ink Swell's not going to be enough. The Stampede will allow him to run out of there just fine, as Yopaj now is going to see if he can get some damage off. He won't be able to. God, I love CTM. Just the little plays he does across the map. It just makes you smile.
Yeah, he takes that away. It takes away a kill opportunity from Lilgun. They're kind of forced to be all over the map as well. And that means they're not contesting Natsumi. They can't really deal with the Ursa. At the same time, X123 is getting free space, though. But they are applying pressure on that mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, they got the Urn up on Yopaj, so now he can really just kind of stun lock someone with the cold snap. That's exactly what they did to Hishki. Again, well, while this is happening, you've got X123 farming just fine on the Wraith King. Again, I think Natsumi might be a bigger issue. And he's farming quite a bit better on the Ursa. fact, he's almost got his own Diffusal Blade up. OB.Neon. They found the Wraith King. They'll get the Cold Snap, the Ice Blast, the EMP, drain all his mana, and take him out. And he did have Reincarnate, but still without mana, you can't really use it. There's mid lane. They try to make the jump in on Natsumi with the Inkswell. They'll go back in now with the Silence out. Hishki not really landing the best avalanche. The toss is there though. They will get the Ursa, but at what cost? They'll lose the Sanctity on the Riki. And now Hishki, he's going to try and go for a run, but should eventually be caught out with the Tornado of Yopaj right on the Tiny. CTM will eventually have a nice Impel to throw, but a nice toss back. But there's your Spike Carapace there to lock down the Tiny, and eventually the Impale will land as Marvel now will try to go for a duel. Does he have the damage? No, the Deafening Blast going to save the day. CTM, he's going to go for a run with the Vendetta. He'll turn around now, just waiting for the right moment. Back onto Marvel, and that'll be a triple kill out for Yopaj. As Januel lets him know about it. Very unfortunate stuff for Lilgun.
Yeah, they overcommit for that fight. They tried to dive in. They just didn't have enough damage. They need his farm to come out in Sanctity. And this is the one thing I don't like with Diffusal Rush Riki. You're not going for cheap Wraith Bands. You're not going for an Orb of Corrosion. You don't do enough damage by yourself. Like, if you had 2 Wraith Bands plus Orb of Corrosion, Sanctity might have found 1 or 2 of those kills they missed out on. But now he has to wait for all of this gold to come in. So it's a little bit more time to wait for. And that just means that Lilgun has to be a bit more passive right now. They need to line up their shots as well with his duel. No wins for Marvel hurts. Like, you sure, duel it's more like a bonus. Like, the damage is like a bonus. But it helps you not have to have farm to do damage. It helps you not have to have farm to, you know, get some damage off onto those big cores. Some control off yourself.
CTM, they try to chase the Nyx down, but CTM, he's proven to be very difficult to catch. Naturally, the Nyx Assassin's already quite hard, but he's made it basically impossible to be killed off. They've bought enough time now that Natsumi, he does have the Diffusal. Might be about that time for OB.Neon to maybe smoke up and try to make a play with this Diffusal. In fact, they even have the Blink Dagger coming out on Raging Potato now. And so it definitely feels like it's time to make a move here for OB.Neon.
It's actually really fast at timings in Raging Potato, and this is the one thing that we used to see from him when he actually used to play offlane for Neon. His Centaur would always hit that Vanguard blink timing, and now it's where it gets scary. He's got the control to jump in. They've bought the space out for Natsumi to solo the Roche a bit. He's a bit vulnerable though. Sanctity could spot him out.
Yeah, but CTM's there with the Sentry Ward and they found him. Stampede pop just in case. Marvel now going to show up, trying to kill off Natsumi with the overwhelming odds, but it's not quite enough. They'll heal him up, they'll bring him back into the Roshan pit. It'll be a nice Aegis for Natsumi's Ursa. Lilgun, they are struggling, John. I mean, with this draft, you couldn't really afford to fall behind, especially in terms of tempo, but that is exactly what's happening. In fact, Ace 12 gonna find out the hard way that the Diffusal Blade is up, but they'll try to turn, but there's the Impale out. It doesn't quite land, but they have the Hoof Stop with the Ice Blast. Marvel in big danger as Natsumi. He just wanted to support Grimstroke, but he'll get something even better. In fact, he might still get the support Grimstroke. Ace, he's gonna get perched up. There's your Rage out. Natsumi, he's not gonna go all the way. He's gone too far, in fact, because Hiski's here now, and he'll get the Aegis off him. But Raging, he's gonna blink in with the stun out onto the Tiny. They will punish Hishki. In fact, now CTM, he wants Ace 12. The Sunstrike won't land. The Impale will, however, and Natsumi will still be able to get another kill.
Thanks for playing Dota 2. Double kill.
Oh man, that's a lot of value for the Aegis. Sure, you drop it early, but a lot of kills going out for Natsumi. Really working that aggression out with the Diffusal Blade. You can't deal with the Inhibit. It's so easy to cast. Pretty long range at 600. Oh, CTM though.
Are they going to be able to kill him?
Fine.
He's going to hide in the fog. Oh, now Natsumi's here.
No.
Oh, Sanctity. He just wanted to kill. Your tricks the trade. He's on the low ground though, Natsumi.
No.
He's not going to realize it. Oh, had Natsumi realized, that would have been another kill onto Sanctity, but It was not to be. CTM though, John, the injured man himself, still has 0 deaths, 0 kills and 9 assists. They can't kill him yet.
I mean, it's in his name, right? Can't touch me.
Right? There you go. Duel out. They've caught Januel. They might be able to find the AA. Who've stopped, not there in time. The silence came in. Yapaj going to join the team fight. Ace 12 already gone to Natsumi. X123 even joining as well. But is this going to be enough? Hey, that's my voice line, by the way. 123 going to try and run. Hishki is in trouble again on the Tiny. And he will drop. CTM. He's under vision. Sanctity's gonna try and turn. Vendetta Strike will still land. Can they finally kill this man? Not quite. Spike Carapace there setting up once again. X123. Why would you even try to kill CTM? It will cost them his life. Shout out to Yapaj, by the way, John, for using my voice line. It's very nice.
Yeah. I did tell Neon last time around to spam it while we're casting just to annoy you. So good to know that Yapaj is the one standing down. Not as frequent as I'd want, but it's there. But I don't. Yeah, you're right. You look at CTM. Why do they bother? Like, you can't touch him. You just can't. And they keep forcing the issue out. He's got 2 fluffy hats. He's got a lot of good HP on hand. 4 staff almost up to help them with their Ricky issue. 16-6 now for Neon's side, as the map is shrinking way too small here to sustain Lilgun's need of farm. They're trying to build up on Sanctity. They're trying to build up on X123. There's just not enough space to get that. Like, this Ricky needs so much more because he went Diffusal Rush. They're trying to go into the Ag Shard for the Sleeping Dart, which can help them set up and can be really annoying, into the Manta style. You really might have actually preferred just going Wraith Band and Orb of Corrosion. Like, at least you'll do some damage and then build into this Diffusal.
We go. X123 hopefully realizes something's wrong, and he does. Too many heroes missing off the map for his liking. Or maybe not. He's going to run back in for the creep wave, but they immediately will punish. He had the right idea, but he went back. He got a little bit greedy, but he does still have the reincarnate. In fact, the duel is out, but Hoofstop is going to save the day from Raging Potato into the Stampede. This is a real mess at this bot lane, but it's a great kind of mess for OB.Neon as they get to work. Odds of Marvel. They'll find the LC. Natsumi still just man-fighting Sanctity. He's going to back off. In fact, maybe now they could go back in, stun out, but the Hoofstop Raging Potato going to stop them in their tracks with a tornado out as well. X123 just can't get close. EMP not going to quite land. CTM back in. He'll get the impale off. They'll find a secondary life. Sanctity, he's going to try something sneaky though. He wanted to see if he could snipe Natsumi, but he realizes Natsumi is a little bit too healthy. In fact, towards the north, Raging Potato, he's not done. He wants Ace 12, and he's going to be able to get him.
Oh, man.
Oh, CTM.
Sanctity?
They know he's there. Sentry
Oh,
down.
no.
Sanctity. He got spotted for a second.
Oh, goodness me. This is rough for Lilgun. Like, I saw CTM again. He was up front. He had maybe 100 HP. X123 wanted that kill. Threw out the Raid Fire Blast and then Spike Carapace. He just doesn't die.
Has he really got an injury?
Can't die.
Has he really got an injury, John? The man's on crutches. They still can't catch him.
Wait. This is perfect. CTM is 0-0-12. 12 assists, no kills. Can he keep that? The 0-0-12. The 0-0 whatever. Just no deaths, no actual kills. I want to see CTM do it. Come on.
Well, this, John, X123 is being stalked once again. No sentries to scout this out. Impale is going to land. Yapaj, he'll get to work, but a nice avalanche toss might just save the day. X123, he'll turn around with a stun. Hishki, he's going to try and back. Everyone's running from CTM. Nobody wants to bother with him. Natsumi, he'll get the job done with the Hishki. They want Yapaj, but they will not be able to get him because CTM's there with the Impale. Tricks the trade out. It's not going to be enough, Natsumi. He'll get a double kill, and they just can't kill anyone. Nobody's dying on OB.Neon. Everyone's just fine.
Yeah, and it goes on, Mike. 0-0-14. Have you ever seen that? No deaths and no kills, but 1,000,000 assists? Like, this is the first time I've ever seen this. Not a single kill, but 14 assists.
It's impressive.
That is a score you're never gonna see. That is not something you'll ever see again.
It is
I swear to
impressive.
goodness, and well, what's not impressive is the progress for Lilgun. Marvel?
He's alright, but no, he's not. Natsumi's here. Bye-bye, Marvel.
Oh boy. They don't really have a map to play right now on Lilgun's end. They still need to farm up on Raid King and on the Ricky. They're way too far behind, and this is one thing with the Ricky as well. Once you're behind, because you don't tend to go Battle Fury, catch-up farm is near impossible. So basically, all that farm is going to X123.
Ishki, he's gonna spawn out CTM this time. Impel doesn't land, Sanctity's in, but the 4-star's up. He's out of there. Instead, they'll call after Raging Potato. Sanctity back in, but CTM, he's got the Essence Ring. Have they got him? They have got him this time around. They finally get the kill, but Sanctity is gonna probably go down for this as the Hoof Stomp won't land from Raging, but it won't matter because they've got something even better. They've got a Tornado into the Sunstrike, but it won't even be necessary. As now Marvel, he needs some help, but the Avengers probably couldn't even help him right now. In fact, he will just run for his life. Hishki,
Oh man.
look at Januel. He's chasing him on 9 HP, John. Hishki will get the toss back. Yeah, Punch gives him the tip. Hishki, he's gonna die eventually. He's just chasing him on 9 HP.
I love Jonuel. What a madman. You know, Mike, that wasn't worth it. I'd say I'm saying it here. It wasn't worth it because CTM died. Score is gone.
True.
It's not a perfect game with all assists. It's ruined. We're not seeing history happen. It's just another game here, Mike.
Yeah. X123, Natsumi. Be caught out, disarm is there, but it probably won't matter. Soulbind, double silence might help out a bit, but X123 still probably going to drop. He does have the reincarnate though, so he's got a secondary chance at life. Marvel, he's already lost all his mana. Natsumi back at work. CTM a great impel out. The Avalanche isn't going to do enough. They're all stacked up, but they're still fighting as the duel comes out, but this is not going to favor Marvel at all. Raging Potato, he'll take the damage. They're trying to go after Yopaj. Natsumi though, he's got ace 12 Sanctity. He's still trying his best to just kill off this darn Invoker, but they can't get it done. CTM now showing up again. Cold Feet gonna be perched off Marvel. He's back in. He just spawned back for this team fight. X123, he's too darn low to fight anymore. Meanwhile, Sanctity still trying to run away, does go down to the Ice Blast. Now Marvel needs to run again. X123, he's gonna drop in the dieback. Looks to be coming out for this LC as he has nowhere to run. See you later, Marvel, and see you later, Lilgun. They call the GG and OB.Neon. What a performance out. What a fun game to watch.
Oh goodness.
And
Neon.
OB.Neon's got some explaining to do. How is Skem injured? How is he injured?
I don't know. He looked perfectly fine. He almost had a 0-0 game. But he got, I think it shows, Mike, he had 2 deaths. So, you know, there is a shortcoming there.
Oh, you're never
Lilgun.
impressed. You're never impressed.
I would have been if it was 0-0, because no one's done that. 0 kills and 0 deaths. You just almost never get someone with 0 kills and 0 deaths. But it doesn't happen. So, CTM, you got to aim for that in the second game. Lilgun, they need to shake it up. They went for a last pick Ricky for the matchup against the Invoker. I think the Raid King wasn't quite the pick for it as well. Like, Raid King Ricky as a duo, they don't do enough. They lack a lot of team fight. They start off with that tiny that they give to Hishki. It didn't have that impact as well with the Legion Commander dual lane. So I think they've got to work out some stronger lane matchups. Maybe go for something with team fight on the off lane to enable them to take some of these fights. Because Neon, they don't stop running at you. 34 kills on Neon's end in what, 24 minutes 16 seconds. Only 9 for Lilgun. That was pretty dominating from Neon. There's no way to pad that out. It was a very strong showing from them.
Absolutely. With that, we are going to go off to game number 2 very, very soon. We are going to have a short break, of course, but right after that break, we'll be back with game 2's draft.